As we see right there, we have a young person getting ready for Global Youth Day. You see them?
Oh, I love that. With their t-shirt on.
Yes, they already purchased their t-shirt and they've gone on the website to GC Youth Ministries to see all the resources for Global Youth Day, right?
And the plan is on point.
Yes, and they're ready to show up in their cities. Well, so take your final pictures and we'll go on to the next day. We'll go to the next day. Let's go, everybody. Let's go, leaders. Let's go, leaders. Hello, everyone. Hello, good morning from the GC headquarters. And we're here, the GC Youth Department, to talk about Global Youth Day. My name is Mwanyam Pundu, and I'm one of the people in the GC Youth team. And so I'm going to bring up my fellow colleagues up here first. We have, for the first time, I believe, on a GC Youth Live, some of you might have not met her yet on this type of platform. Her name is Yvonne Omania. Hey, Yvonne, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, welcome, Yvonne, and welcome to the team. We're so excited. Up next, someone you're familiar with, our GC Youth Director, Pastor Busi Kumalo. How are you, Pastor Busi? How are you doing?
Doing well, Mwenya, and we thank God for the opportunity. And I just want to greet all our young people from around the world.
And another person, Pastor Paco Makwane, one of the associates. Hey, Pastor Paco, how are you doing?
Hey, hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello in Jesus' name.
Amen. And finally with us right now is Pastor Andres Peralta. How are you doing, Pastor Peralta?
I'm doing great and happy to be here.
Awesome. I feel like we all look so tired. We all look super tired on this Monday morning, but that's because we have been busy. We have been busy participating in Global Youth Day. It was a power-packed weekend of community service starting from Friday with preparations. We took a break on Saturday, had lunch over with Yvonne at her house, and then Sunday we went out at it early in the morning to participate in Global Youth Day. So we're here. We're going to talk a little bit about what's happening with Global Youth Day from the GC team, what we're looking to see from you all out in the field. But before we go on to that, I want to say some hellos. We have Aiden Dos Anjos. Hello, how are you? Good afternoon, where you are. We have Moria. Hello, how are you? We have my people always representing the Northwestern Zambia Conference. Hello, how are you? We have husband from Kenya, Jumbo Jumbo. We have the friend preacher from Zambia as well. We have a lot of young people in here. Bufana, hello. Doris from France, how are you doing, Doris? Thando, well, the young people are coming in. We're so excited, but we want to come here to talk specifically about Global Youth Day. Global Youth Day now has been going on for 10 years, correct? Starting in 2013, Global Youth Day. This year, 2023, is its 10th year anniversary. So, what does Global Youth Day mean to all of you? We've been doing it for a while. We've been doing it for 10 years. What does Global Youth Day mean? And I'm going to start specifically with Pastor Paco, who has been in the department at the GC Youth Building since its inception, correct? Or just around that time, and was actually in charge of leading Global Youth Day for a while. So, Pastor Paco, what does Global Youth Day mean to you?
Well, thank you so much. I came in after. This was a concept that came with the team that had been there already in 2013. Division directors coming together to put up a vision that Dr. Gilbert Kenji, came up with and projected it to them, and it just took out a good turn. What does it mean for me? What is Global Youth Day? Global Youth Day is a day in which you set aside time to be a sermon. To be the hands and feet of Jesus, to perform acts of kindness, to share with other people the love of Jesus that wells up within you. You cannot share what you don't have. You've got to have it. You've got to embrace that love and say, I will do something for Jesus. I will make a difference for Jesus. And this is why we emphasize one important aspect. Pastor Busi always emphasizes this when he speaks. He says it is a lifestyle. And I echo the same sentiments because we cannot go on as if we don't have a force that is pushing us, a powerful force, which is the love of Jesus. And so it must be manifested in our daily lives, in our actions, in our thoughts, in what we do. And I appreciate that young people all around the world are catching this big vision and are moving forward. Over the years, we have seen how Global Youth Day has taken up great strides in ensuring that we move with the power of God, make impact, and even governments are beginning to recognize the impact of Seventh-day Adventist young people all around the world. So yes, it's a day. It's a day of promotion of youth activities or youth kindness, but it doesn't end there. It's a day in which we live out. The concept or the principle is we live out the love of Jesus by being kind to others all year round, and hence it being a lifestyle.
I see Prince Charles is here echoing you. Yes, Global Youth Day is a lifestyle. And Yuli is saying it's a day you live throughout the year. It's not just that one day. Pastor Busi, what do you have to say about Global Youth Day? Is it just that one day that happens at some point in March that all the young people only on that day go out and show God's love? What do you think about that?
No, it shouldn't mean that. Unfortunately, in some areas of the world church, some of our young people go out and engage in acts of kindness only on that one day. But Global Youth Day is an important project, an important initiative in youth ministries, because the Bible says, "You shall know them by their fruit." If we profess to be the followers of Jesus, if we are members of the Remnant Church, and if we have that wonderful mandate of preaching the gospel throughout the world, then it means we need to live what we proclaim. And therefore, for me, what is significant about GYD is that we need to live according to what we profess. And number two, Global Youth Day is an opportunity to rally young people around the world, around one common goal, and that is to be the hands and the feet of Jesus. And so it should not be a one-day event. It should be a lifestyle. It should be something that we do naturally. We are disciples of Jesus Christ, and therefore no one should tell us when we should do acts of kindness. We should do it all the time.
I agree with that. And Pastor Peralta, I've seen you do Global Youth Day from the conference level, from the union level. What does Global Youth Day mean to you? And how can young people participate in Global Youth Day every day? What's a practical thing maybe you can think of that young people can do?
Thank you, Muenya. Thank you, team. I think Global Youth Day holds a great significance because he encouraged the young people to actively participate in making a positive impact in the local communities. And he provides them tools to demonstrate God's love in a practical way. If I think about practical things that the young people can do on Global Youth Day, they can volunteer their time and skills. They can support charities and organizations. They can donate to those in need. They can organize community events and initiatives. They can be mentor or even offer guidance to others. They can pray for the community needs. They can be a good neighbor and build relationship with their, in their neighborhood, and they can promote rallies, and marches, unity and peace. They can show kindness and compassion. So they can do so many things, and like all of you have said, it has to be a lifestyle. Every time I go to the mall, every time I go to the supermarket, every time I go to the airport, find a way to reach those that are surrounded or close to us.
I agree with you, and I like that you're saying every day you do something. That's an opportunity to participate in Global Youth Day. I think for me, my biggest thing is remembering, if for Global Youth Day, for it to be a lifestyle, you have to prepare. You have to prepare for it so that you can do it every day. Maybe that means from every paycheck you put aside, I'm going to talk in US currency, $5, right? And you've put it aside in singles, and you're ready that every time you meet someone in need, you can give them $1. So you have that budget specifically put aside so that you're able to participate in Global Youth Day daily. You have to prepare. But I want to bring on someone. Yes, go ahead.
No. I just want to say that it has to be intentional. And I'm not trying to put myself as an example, but for example, I've learned since I got baptized, and someone taught me this prayer. The person told me, Peralta, every time you wake up in the morning, just tell God to help you to impact someone in a positive way. And that synced, that was like a mentor, pastor. He's like 80 something now. That synced into my mind. Like, okay, every time I wake up, I say, God, use me to impact somebody, whether it's now in social media, whether it's on my way home, or whether it's way to the base or to the GC. Find a person that I can, even a big smile, that will help them to lift up their spirit. So that helped me, like, to have it as a lifestyle.
Intentionality is definitely key. And I saw someone up here, let me find it, who was agreeing with Pastor Busian, saying that we're not seeing lasting impact in our communities because our community only sees us being kind once a year. And we have to be able to show them daily our kindness and participate in Global Youth Day in that way. But I wanted to bring someone in on here who have been keeping backstage because she was in the room at the GC Youth Department when they decided that Global Youth Day will be something we'll be doing in the world. So, welcome, Miss Maria Mandison. Woo, woo, woo.
Hey,
Hi,
good
Maria. How are you
morning.
doing? Good morning.
I'm doing good. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So, can you tell us a little bit about what you have seen during these last 10 years of Global Youth Day from here, from the GC building, and what are the things that you've seen maybe make a lasting impact on communities, or some things that you're like, guys, we need to do better, we need to do more of this? What are your thoughts?
Okay. First thing, hi everybody. Good morning. Good morning from Maryland. One thing I want to say that GYD, the impact is not only felt in the community and those who we're serving, but it's also felt by us. It should also be felt by us, we the ones who are serving. I remember this was not our first year, but this was a few years ago when Pastor Paco was leading out with Global Youth Day, and we invited the young people in the building to come with us as we went into one of the inner city neighborhoods to impact them. I was surprised that so many of the young people had never been in an inner city or in a neighborhood that was that had more needy people. Let me put it that way. And I was very surprised, and I realized, and a lot of them came up to us afterwards and said, "This really made a difference in my life." So not only did we impact the community, we actually impacted the young people who work here because they never had that exposure. Sometimes, we go to Adventist school, we go to Adventist college, we go to Adventist church, we work in an Adventist institution, we live in an area surrounded by a lot of Adventists, our friends are Adventists, our parents are Adventists. So you see, so we're in this little bubble, and then it gave them an experience to go outside that bubble and see a different, how people live on the other side of the track, as we want to put it sometimes. And then on the other side, I had invited some young people who were not Adventists. They were just young people from my community. And I'd invited them to come with me here to the building so that they could help us prepare the sandwiches that we were going to distribute. And I was blown away when one of the young ladies said, "Oh my, this is my first time in a church." And she thought this was a church, the GC was a church. And I was really surprised because it didn't occur to me that we had a sector of the community who really was actually growing up. I don't like to use the word unchurched, but that's what it was. Never been to a church in her entire life. And thankfully, these young people, but this is how we can help to impact ourselves, the smaller community around us, meaning like the young people that and also the wider community out there. And that, Pastor Paco may want to talk about that particular Global Youth Day event, but that was really more than an event for the young people who came to help us. It started a change in them.
I love that Global Youth Day not only impacts the people you're out there reaching out, but it also has an impact on the young people participating in it. I see Pastor Ravi is here saying Global Youth Day is the biggest youth event organized by any church in the world. And how powerful would it be when we're participating in Global Youth Day daily? Thousands and millions of young people just participating in one act of kindness, not one day in March, but every day. What a blessing that would be.
And
yes.
Can I just add something to that? I should mention that one of the young men who came with me, he calls me every now and again, and he said, "Miss Maria," when he's in town, because he's now graduated from college and working out of town, but when he comes back, he'll call. He'll say, "Miss Maria, when are we going to do something like we did before?" And another young man said to me, he and his wife, they were both Adventists, and something had happened, and he didn't like how the wife was treated at church. That's what he said. So he left, and they had been out of the church for a while. And he has said to me, "I won't come to church, but this I will do."
Amen.
And my prayer is that, and he has come with me. He even volunteered his truck. We use his truck as a table. We get down, cook the food, put it in his truck, flip the back, and that's our table. We just look where the people are, and then we start serving, and that's his mission. That he will do. But I still haven't been able to get him to come to church. I'm leaving that for the Holy Spirit. That's not my job. Just thought I would add that. Some of them who will not enter a building for church will be willing to do community service work.
And Julie's here saying, imagine how many people will meet in heaven who are saved because of Global Youth Day intentionality. So keep that in mind. So this year's theme, 2024's theme for Global Youth Day, if you haven't heard it yet, is show up in the cities. We're asking young people to go out and impact their cities. Yvonne, we haven't heard from you. What does impacting your cities, what does a young person showing up in their city look like?
I think many people have this miscommunication within their heads that to show up, you have to do these grand gestures of community service and mission work, when in reality, showing up in a city is impacting the minimum of one person, making the difference, whether it's bringing a smile, giving a hug, sharing a kind word, making someone's day a little bit better just because you wanted to show love. That for me is a definition of showing up in a city. With so many cities and countries around the world, modern times is always commuting, always going, coming and going. There's always something we have to do. Taking that time to dedicate, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, however time we have, to providing assistance to someone else other than myself. I think that's what it means to show up in a city, to show up and being constant and present, or not even constant, just being present with someone and being able to provide that sense of what Jesus and God shows us in our lives. Sometimes we get intimidated with that concept that maybe we might be imposing on other people's times, but we make more difference with the little things that we do than with the big things.
I agree with that. And I think one of the major things we wanted to do with showing up in the cities is showing young people the variety of projects, the variety of things that you can do in your city. But sometimes we see the same project done over and over again. Not saying that it's not impactful, but are we going out and seeing what the people of our city need? Are we checking to see, okay, is the population of those unhoused really high in our city, and that's where we should be focusing on? Or is our city filled with a lot of orphans and we should find a project for that community? So we want to see variety. We want to see you have gone out and done your community engagement, and you're able to do a project that will affect the most people in your town or city. But we don't want to be a people that just talk the talk and don't walk the walk. We want to also be people that are participating in Global Youth Day. Pastor Busi, can you tell us a little bit about this initiative where the GC Youth Department is also participating in Global Youth Day?
Yeah, before I get to that, Mwenya, I think we need to share with our young people and the youth leaders around the world that one thing that motivated us to take this thing very seriously, to make Global Youth Day a lifestyle, is the fact that in the Bible, we find that God is really keen to save city dwellers. I mean, if you look at Genesis 19, for instance, Sodom and Gomorrah, God made sure that he dispatches the angels to go and get the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. Unfortunately, it was only a few people who were saved. And Ellen White talks strongly about saving people in the cities. And let me just read one quotation, then I'll come to our project. There is means now tied up that should be used for the unworked cities in Europe, Australia, and America, and in the regions beyond. And that includes Africa, it includes South America and other parts of the world. These cities have been neglected for years. The angels of God are waiting for us to give our labors for their inhabitants, from town to town, from city to city, from country to country, the warning message is to be proclaimed, not with outward display, but in the power of the Spirit by men of faith and by women of faith. Evangelism, page 428. So when I thought I should share why we are doing this. The Bible gives us an example of God reaching out to the city dwellers, and the spirit of prophecy is also telling us to go out into the cities. And so as the GC Youth Department, we decided that we cannot fold our arms and wait for Global Youth Day in 2024, March 16, 2024. We need to start Global Youth Day today. So we targeted two things that we needed to do this year. And the first thing is to have blessing bags. We started sharing blessing bags with people who are needy. And if you look at the blessing bag, it has goodies, juices, things that people can use as they languish in the streets. And these are for ladies. And we also have, what are these, by the way? Glow tracks. And so each person that we meet who is needy, we would give out the blessing bag. And we partnered with Hope Channel International. They gave us these bags. So if you are intentional about doing God's work
and publishing for the Glow Trucks,
Glow Tracks. So if you are intentional about doing God's work, God will send to you partners, people who will support you. So don't sit and say, I don't have the resources, I don't know what to do. Hey, where there's a will, there's a way. God will open the way and people will come. Even in the building here at the GC, there are people who are willing to support us financially and even in kind to make sure that our projects continue. Now, the second project that we earmarked as a department was to go out and offer free showers, free clothes, food, warm food, haircuts. Pastor Paco was a barber yesterday cutting people's hair. And we also, made sure that we distribute the Great Controversy, which is the book of the year, and another book that we have in the department. And we did lots of good things yesterday through the help of God. And thanks to the team I'm working with. Hey, young people around the world, I want to tell you, I'm having a wonderful team here at the GC department. I'm working with people who are passionate about God's work. And so these two projects, the blessing bags, and the event that we did yesterday, the project we did yesterday went well, but that's not enough. We realize that that's just a drop in the ocean. There's a lot more that we can do, and you can do the same.
The blessing bags, memories here saying, wow, blessing bags, that's a good initiative. And that goes back to what I was saying about intentionality. Being able to have 4 or 5 bags in your car or on your person so that whenever you see someone, you're able to be a blessing to someone. You're able to give someone something. You already have it prepared. So in the moment, you're not thinking, oh, do I have some extra cash? Do I have something that I can get them? But you're prepared to help someone that you may encounter. So quickly, we're going to see a bit of what happened yesterday. Sorry, go ahead, Maria.
Can I say something quickly about your blessing bags? So we can remind people that the blessing bags, it doesn't have to be as fancy as our blessing bags are, because we were able to partner with Hope Channel. Your blessing bag can also be a brown paper bag project. You get a brown sandwich bag and you put your goodies in there. You put a little smiley face on the front, and that can be a little Bible verse, whatever you want to do, and that's your brown paper bag project right there.
I agree. It can even look like making that extra lunch in the morning to maybe bless someone throughout the day. Just remembering to be prepared for whatever may happen, for whoever you may encounter throughout the day. So quickly, we're just going to see a bit of what happened yesterday. And that was us yesterday out in Washington, D.C. area, participating in the Global Youth Day project, going out into our communities and really touching the hearts of people. And we're able to see some people transformed. With haircuts. Pastor Paco had his first haircutting time for someone outside of his family. How was that experience? I think what really touched me before you go on was we were all willing and ready to help in whichever way. Maybe you haven't done it so often, but you're learning on the job and you're able to participate in a way. So talk to us a little bit about your experience cutting hair during our global youth project.
Thank you. At least now I know that when Maria fires me, like she normally just, gets me out of my office, locks me out of my office, I know I have another job. I will go to the barber and start cutting people's hair. But it was a rich experience. Let me also just, go back to something that was said, the blessing bags, the project yesterday. I would just need everybody to know that this money does not come from a budget of the General Conference. It actually comes from the budgets of the individuals of GC Youth Ministries. Everybody being intentional, everybody planning. So whatever monies you come up with, whether you do it as a team or as an individual, you can do great things as you team together, as you hold hands and do something for Jesus. And guess what? Jesus is the one who smiles and God's people are blessed. So yesterday was unique because I have never cut anybody's hair. I mean, I try to work around my own hair, which is very simple. Guys, how'd you like my haircut? Very simple, just a 5 minutes and I'm done. But yesterday I had to, cut people's hair, touch their heads, and just have conversation. And during that time when I'm cutting their hairs, talking to Kevin, talking to Daniel, talking to Face, all these guys, you get to hear their stories, their lives. And one of the things that Kevin said yesterday was, I want to be part of a group that has so much love.
Amen.
That to me was, the sermon is done. I didn't have to say much. I'm asking about his family. I'm asking about what he does. I'm asking about his dreams. I'm asking about his aspirations. I'm asking about, just his worldview. And, I end by telling him that, look, I'm going to be praying for you. He says, I need that. Please don't forget to pray for me. Don't forget to mention my name. And, we exchange numbers. We exchange contacts. And we're just keeping in touch. Yesterday, I'm like, yo, how are you doing? Did you get home safely? He's like, yes. And he says to me, I knew you would call. I knew you would.
Okay.
So these are just those short experiences, not because we are any better, but because we've been sent to do something. And for me, being intentional is all that it is. Plan to do it. Think mission. When you have a day, things to do for your day, please put mission as part of your goals for the day, your things to achieve for the day. It doesn't have to be money. You can smile at people. You can give somebody a hug, and that goes a long way. And that's why Global Youth Day really is being creative, thinking outside the box. God has given this generation a great minds to think outside the box, to be creative, so much energy, and we can utilize that for God's service. So yeah, that was my experience in short, just having conversation with people as I'm cutting their hairs, engaging with them, and them feeling appreciated. Somebody said to me, Paco is the man.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? I thought you guys were my witnesses. Okay.
No, it happened. I remember.
That to me is not even about me. It's a localization of their own feelings.
Yeah.
It's an expression of their own feelings. And it made me want to do this again and again and even perfect my Baba skills. So Mwenya, I'm ready to go for that second round.
Amen.
I'm ready to go for that third round, that fourth round, Yvonne, that fifth round, Andres, that sixth round, Maria, we're in it together, and I saw God moving in powerful ways yesterday.
Amen. Yeah, I remember someone came up to me. One of the participants came up to me and said, do you guys do this often? How can I help? Are you guys looking? They were even asking, how can I donate? Or even, how can I participate in the next time? You have to call me up when you're doing this again, not for me to receive, but also for me to help someone else. And that was really powerful. I saw someone say here, Memory said, good things are happening out there. Hey, we are moved. And I just wanted to say to that was the purpose of this. It wasn't, we're not coming on here to show off what we did,
Yes.
but in hopes that we can move someone else to do something for someone that is in their community. Miss Manderson was our chef with the mostest. Miss Manderson cooked, wow, a couple trays of protein yesterday, and she, as they say, she put her love into that food, and the people were touched. What was your experience yesterday?
Well, the highlight of my day was being able to talk to a young man that I met. He came in to receive, and I just started talking to him. I looked at him, and he looked around the same age as my son. I said, "You look to be around the same age as my son." And when he told me his age, I was right on spot. They were the same age. And I discovered that he had graduated from one of our colleges, used to go to church, grew up in the church, and life happened. And life happened. And we talked for a long while. And then he came back. He was about to leave, and he came back. He said, "Can I get some books to distribute?" And we gave him some books. Oh, by the way, Akeem was such a helper.
Oh, yes.
Elder
Oh,
Paco,
yes.
Akeem was my helper, okay?
Yes. Not only to you, Maria. He was a helper to everybody there.
Yes.
Even the old ladies appreciated Akim's help. So thank
Yes,
you, Pastor Paco, for the training.
This is intergenerational work. It's not
Yes.
just Global Youth Day, but remember, there's also a Global Children's Day, and Akeem came along for that part of the effort. We have to send those pictures over to the children's ministry.
Yes, I was tired, and I was sitting on the step out front, and I said, "Akeem, get me some books." Akeem went and got all the books. We gave it to the young man. He went out. He was gone for probably about a good 15 minutes. And then I really thought he was gonna just, maybe not come back. And then he came back for some more, and we gave him some more. And I don't know how far we were from Silver Spring, but I only heard when the lady said, "How far did you reach?" And he said, "Silver Spring."
About a 40-minute walk.
Well, he must have done it in less than that, because the second time he did take a little longer. But I heard him tell the lady as far as Silver Spring, and I was like saying to myself, I didn't realize you were even that close to Silver Spring. Wow. But I'm just sharing with you that he came to get the help, and he got more than physical food.
Yeah.
He got a spiritual blessing, because I was able to, he gave me his phone number. I spoke to the pastor. I sent his number to the pastor, and she in turn is going to send it to someone who will be able to connect with him, because he had actually played basketball on their team 2 years ago.
Wow.
So 2 years ago, he had played for their team. So that's another thing I want to just throw out there, that as pastors, when you have young people who are playing on your team, even if they are not active in the church in other areas, you need to really kind of check up on them, see where they are when you don't see them, because you never know what's really going on in their life. And sometimes life is happening. And in his case, life was happening.
So, Maria, that young man behaved like the Samaritan woman, because he did not want to keep the good things for himself.
Right.
He just decided that I've received literature, I've received food. Let me go out and share the news with other young people, with other people in the streets.
And he made not one, but 2 trips.
Wow.
Yes, yes. So I am telling you, that was my blessing. I was really blessed when I saw that. And when we went at the end, when we went to the other location, the second location, that was, even though I was not there for, when as long as you guys were there, as the rest of the team, I mean, I was really blessed when I showed up and saw the impact it was having
Mm,
on those who were there. And then it just tell me, it's not just in Baltimore that it's happening. It's
yeah.
happening everywhere because I'm from Baltimore. So this DC experience was different for me. But when I went to that second location, I was like, okay, it's happening in all cities around the world. You
I
just
just
have
want to.
to show up and
So the second location Maria is talking about was right, maybe less than a mile away from the White House, and right outside, right in the little park area. People have put up tents, and that's where they live. They live in those tents, and that's the. I just wanted to bring a picture to where Maria is talking about. So it's not an area that you would think people are underprivileged or unhoused, but we saw it there too, and we're able to bring change or help them in some way. Yvonne also helped with cooking for our project yesterday. The chefs really did their thing. Yvonne also brought her dog Reggie along the way to help out and bring a couple smiles to the people. So Yvonne, what was your experience yesterday during our project?
Uh, Although it was a little bit tiring, I myself felt elated. I felt like, the small things that I can do with my few talents, I can do them here. I may not be the best speaker or the best at, going out into the cities, but I can do this. And for me, that was beneficial. That if I could have helped one person, it was great. I think one of my favorite aspects of the whole thing yesterday is not just that we were helping people, but we were having fun doing so.
Mhm.
If you were there during the day, you could have heard all this, you could have seen all the smiles, heard all the laughter. We were encouraging, we were able to sit down and just shoot a few jokes between the people coming in. And for me, the environment was also very beneficial and very helpful. I really enjoyed that aspect of being able to just be connected with people, not having to have this sense of, like having to be tied up in, oh, I have to do this job and I have to, I have to show this type of expression and this and that. Just being relaxed and showing them, we're people too, and we want to help where we can and when we can.
Can you hear them? Peralta.
Yeah, I can hear them, but I don't know. They froze.
I think they froze.
But I'm not sure if we are live. But if not, we keep going. Hello, hello.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. Well, thank you for being here, guys. We just reminiscing on our experiences. Pastor Andres, what words of encouragement do you have to young people who are thinking that maybe we cannot do this? What are some of the practical ways that you can just push people forward and say, hey, let's make a difference in the community? Let's go get it.
Okay. Well, family, there are so many community projects that can make positive impact
Hello?
in a city.
Right.
For example, I can give you
yeah.
some ideas of what to do in a
Can
city.
you hear me?
Number
I can
one.
hear you, Yvonne.
Okay, I can hear Maria.
Okay, we are live, family. Okay, so real quick. Number one, community cleanup. Organize a day of cleanup. Public spaces like
We're
parks,
having a little technical difficulty right now, but we're gonna try and fix
beaches.
that real quickly.
Okay, I'm gonna stop then because I think they're
But
talking.
I think I'll just finish saying what I was saying in that having that sense of just being together really made a difference. It kind of created a community within what we were doing. And very much like Mwenya was saying earlier, we had people that were coming in who, first of all, they're asking us, well, who are you guys? Where are you from? What are you doing? And being able to say, we're from the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and we're here to provide. And then in return, them saying, oh, I love this that you guys are doing it. Next time, tell me, and I will help as well. I think that was also very, it provided to the audience, it provided to the community. And we definitely wanted to try and have more people, say, like, let's work together. Let's go show up in the cities together. I think that's something that we quickly learned. But aside from that, bringing it back to my dear Reggie, my dog, Pastor Lucy was very kind enough to let me bring him. And I was happy to see that there were a few smiles. Sometimes out in the streets, there are people who have all types of things with them. So they have their family, they have their dogs, and being a church or being a part of the community where we catered not only to the humans but also to the other family members. I think that was also something that a lot of people were happy to see, that we were opening our arms to everyone. Maria, what else were some of the things that you liked about being able to participate in yesterday's activity?
Well, are you guys seeing me? Why is my screen spinning?
Yeah, we can see
I
you.
can see you, yes.
Okay, great. What else did I like? I think the interaction was the most important thing for me. And it also, if I can drum from that to something else, it also reminded me that I know the stats for the US. I'm not sure about the numbers for the rest of the world. But right here in America, we have a total, I'm going to read the 2022 stats. I'm looking at it. 582,462 people who are homeless. Of that, we have in the shelters, we have 348,630 who are housed in shelters. Sleeping on the streets with nowhere to sleep, we have 233,832. So that would make up, when you spoke about the tents on the streets that you saw people living in tents. Well, when I was coming down, Pastor Paco, I don't know if you had looked to your left and seen it, but because I was driving behind you, but I looked to my left and I actually saw a single size, a single bed, a single mattress just there on the grass, and that was where somebody was living. The mattress was there, it was spread up, and they had their little package next to it. So these are the people who make up this number, 233,832 persons in the United States are actually living on the streets. Of that number, I'm going to tell you there 161,070 are families with children. But this is the number to me that shocked me more than anything. 30,090 unaccompanied youth are homeless. 30,090 of them are homeless, living on the streets, and they are unaccompanied. No families, no parent, they are by themselves. So I'm telling you, people, we have a mission field out there right where we are is our mission field. We don't have to live, we don't have to think I don't have money to go abroad or I don't have money to go on. We have a mission field right where we are, and there we can be a center of influence corporately and individually. These are the numbers. I'm looking at them right now. I'm not just saying numbers off the top of my head, but I was shocked when I saw the number of unaccompanied youth, when I heard how many kids are in school who are actually homeless, going to high school and they're homeless. I was shocked. So I'm just saying, we have to keep our eyes open. And this young man that I spoke with yesterday reminded me that as pastors, the pastors have a job. When they don't see the young people, don't just assume they're going to another church. If they're there playing on your basketball team or your football team, check in on them. Where are they? Because life happens, and sometimes life happens and you're just too embarrassed to come back and say, look, I lost my job, I lost my this, I lost my that. We have to really open our eyes and ask God to give us eyes so we can see and ears so we can hear what's going on around us.
All right.
You're so right, Maria. For the internet failing us in the program.
When you're coming,
but we're back. We found a you can't hear me?
We can hear you, but it's so bad. It's terrible. There's an echo.
You sound like a transformer.
Yeah. No, we're still struggling.
That's better. Do you have two devices close by? That might be the problem.
All right.
Is this are we good now?
No, go to Pastor Busi's office. Go to Pastor Busi's office. Okay. So let's catch up, Paco, what we were talking earlier. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'd asked you, when the internet failed in the office, I was just engaging Andres about some of the things that we can do. But before you answer that, Andres, since we're running out of time, let me ask the young people. You guys, you got to participate in this. We've been talking. What are some of the creative ideas? I want you to go into the comments, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Get into the comments and tell us some of the ideas that are just flowing in your creative mind right now of the things that you can do in the cities as you prepare for your report in March 2024. What are some of the ideas? Please go on there. We want to read your comments. What are some of the things that you are planning? What are some of the things that you are thinking of? What are some of the creative juices coming through right now? The things that you want to do next year, either corporately or individually, with a team or just on your own. What are the things that are in your mind, and how is God inspiring to move? We want to see those comments in this chat here so that we can put them up and we can celebrate with you. But while you're writing those comments, Pastor Andres was also just giving a word of encouragement to people out there as to how they can be involved as they prepare for the cities. Go ahead, Andres.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor Paco. No, I just couple recommendations. Number one, community cleanup. You can consider that. Organize a cleanup in public spaces, park, like I said, street, beaches. Provide trash bag, glove, cleaning supplies for volunteers. You can also consider in big cities food drive and meal distribution, like you guys did. Also, community garden, home repair and renovation. Also, health and wellness fair. That helps a lot. The people in the city, they want to live well, so try to organize fairs. Also, art and mural projects. You can do that. You can do educational workshop. You can do support for the homeless. You can do it in the city. We have a lot of immigration language classes. offered free language classes for immigrants and refugees to help them to integrate into the community. You can also have senior citizen support, organized activity like social events, exercise classes, or technology workshop to engage and support elderly residents. And you can also have other things there. I'm just giving some ideas. Remember, you need to explore your city and check the needs. You cannot use one fit all, because one project can be offensive in one community. For example, I've been in places that if you bring food or give them food, they'd be like, "Hey, I'm not dying of hunger. We got food here. You offended me." So, but in that you can do like health fair, and they very oriented to health and so forth. So adapt to whatever the needs.
Right. Thank you for that, Monya. I don't know if you're audible, or are you audible? Are you
Am I
back?
still a transformer?
Oh, that's good. I was going to say over to you. But yeah, anyway, thanks, Andres, for saying that. Just one quick question for Pastor Busi. Pastor Busi has set up a great vision for 2024. But I just want to ask him a question. Perhaps a young person is thinking out there, this is about showing up in the cities. What about those who are in the villages? Did we think about them? What are the implications? What are the implications for those who are living in the villages? Does this mean they don't participate? Why did we come up with this? And maybe I know from your desk, because this was beautifully visioned and put together, you may have an answer for us.
You know what? You need to be a missionary wherever you are, right in the corner where you are. If you do not have access to the cities around you, we are not saying you should just fold your arms and feel like, I have nothing to do. You need to use, if you have technology, if you have a cell phone, you can connect with friends who are in the cities. That's also part of mission. You can also share with them the love of Jesus, share with them texts, share with them words of encouragement. So you may not be able to be there physically yourself, but we live in the days of technology. Artificial intelligence is also there to help us. So whatever God places in your hand to do it with all your might, whatever the circumstances are, even though the focus is on the cities. But you can be part of the city drive as long as you are willing to serve remotely as well.
And the beautiful thing is this, Pastor Kumalo, because cities are influential, what happens in the cities will naturally affect those who are in the villages. True. And those who are in the rural areas. We're not saying that God is not present in the rural areas. Yes, God is there. God is everywhere. But there's a special focus on cities, mission to the cities. And this is a GC initiative that's driving all of us to think about the cities, because many people go there. Many people are found in the cities. Over to you, Monya.
I agree. And thank you all for taking over in my time of need, but I think we're good with the internet now. Pastor Busi, I wanted to hear from you, your experience from yesterday, but from a different perspective. What this weekend, I think my biggest takeaway from this weekend was learn to troubleshoot. Learn to, when things may not be going exactly how you planned or how you thought it would happen, find a way, still persevere. What are your takes on that, and what's your encouragement to young people that they're doing this for the Lord, and they've gone out and they've set their plans and they've made plans, they've checked all the boxes, there isn't something that they didn't check, but the world just happened, something happened? What is your takeaway from that weekend in that context?
Moenya, Ephesians chapter 6 says, we are not fighting against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers of darkness in the heavenly realms. So the devil fights those who are doing God's work. You can check all the boxes and make sure that everything is well done. You have prepared everything. But hey, be ready for any setback, because the devil will try and disrupt your plans, God's plans. And so, did we have setbacks? Yes, we did. There are things that did not go according to how we had planned them. But you know what? What matters is that God was with us and we executed the plan. we had to improvise. We had to do things differently, if when things turned out to be what we did not expect. However, what is important is that the objective for the project was fulfilled. And so, young people, as you do God's work, yes, you need to plan, you need to pray, you need to do everything. But please remember that the evil one is always there to destroy the plans that you have planned for God to use you in His mission.
I agree, and that's a great feedback, that things always happen, but we have to be prepared. And I think part of the preparation is being prepared for what Plan B and Plan C will be, and we were able to go into those extra plans that we had, and we're ready to go ahead and see through our plans for this weekend. But I see a lot of people here are encouraged by what we did and are thinking of ways of how they can bring it to their local areas. I saw someone here saying to pitch to a clothing bank so that they might need. Oh, maybe I read that wrong. Oh, to pitch to a clothing bank to see if people need clothes for interviews so that they also have the right outfits for that. Um, I saw someone else saying that they were really inspired by the meal distribution and free haircuts. So they're thinking of visiting one of the local orphanages in their city to offer local youth and offer meals, free haircuts, and distribution of Spirit of Prophecy books while interacting with others. I know
Okay.
in the short slideshow that we showed, we didn't show, we're cognizant of not showing too much of people's faces. All the faces that we showed were people who are willing to, be on camera or show their face. So there were parts of our project that you didn't see. I remember at a point we had people, like a group of people eating on the side. We had set up like dinner tables for people to be able to eat inside the building from First Church. And some of us took that time also to grab a plate of food and eat with them, and be able to start conversation. And I think that was really important. Sometimes we just go out and give out food, but we don't interact with the people that we're helping. But being able to sit down and have a meal with someone, maybe they haven't had a meal with another person in so long. So this is also a different aspect of the project. And it's the little things that you do that are key. Pastor Peralta, you wanted to say something?
No. We just wanted to say that we're going to be doing this more often, so we will give them more tips and more recommendation in the near future. But one of the things that we want to encourage is that if you guys start doing community projects like since now, tag us and send us the pictures through social media, because this movement of the department, especially Pastor Kumalo vision, is not only we want to the whole year to show in the social media what is happening. It's like for example, I work in the area of club ministry. We go every weekend and have club ministry meetings, blah blah blah, learning, and then we go to the camporee to celebrate what we have accomplished through the year. And that's the vision. We want to see what you're doing daily or weekly or monthly in your area, and then we celebrate in a big Christian party on Global Youth Day. So keep tagging us and send us your pictures. In that way, Global Youth Day is an ongoing ministry.
I love what Pastor Peralta has emphasized here. Thank you for reminding us, Pastor Peralta, that our new focus is to make Global Youth Day the day of celebration. He has said a big party, yes, a big spiritual party where we celebrate the harvest of souls that we will have gathered because of Global Youth Day. Young people, remember, Global Youth Day is part of mission. It is not just to go out and hand out things and that's it. It is part of mission. We are planting the gospel seed by visiting the people. We need to visit them from time to time, establish a rapport, establish a connection, so that when we have Global Youth Day, the actual Global Youth Day is a day of celebration, baptisms, and whatever it is that we have, managed to achieve throughout the year, we will celebrate together with the world.
I know you
Amen.
guys had asked to see what the initiatives of young people were. I see from Mark, his initiatives in Haiti is to distribute bread to people and put the verse where Jesus says he is the bread of life. Distribute waters to young people who are playing basketball. I see someone else saying plans to be genuine with clear execution steps and an honest need to address those in needs. So I think they're speaking on making sure they are getting community assessments. I saw another one. Showing up in the cities by helping young ones in the community with schoolwork and homework centers, planting and landscaping in their community. So we have young people already thinking of what they're going to do or have already started doing something. And as Pastor Peralta said, make sure you're tagging us at GC Youth on Instagram and at GC Youth Ministries on Facebook. Global Youth Day preparations, the logo is out, everything is out. Some of the videos are out or will be coming out soon. So make sure you're checking the website at gcyouthministries.org. That's gcyouthministries.org to make sure you're up to date on everything Global Youth Day, as well as everything that is happening here at the General Youth Conference. Team, is there any last words you have for the young people before we head out?
Just to say, Moenya, there is a document that the GC Youth Ministries Department has produced to guide the world church on how to make Global Youth Day a lifestyle. That document is available on the GC website, and we have sent it to the divisions. And so please, if you are stuck, you don't know what to do, we have produced a special document for Global Youth Day. We call it the 5-month plan for Global Youth Day. Access that document, you'll find resources there, ideas and all that, so that you can make Global Youth Day a lifestyle, not an event. And next year on March 16, 2024 is the day of celebration where we will be gathering reports from around the world. May God bless you.
Amen. Anyone else with final words to the youth? No? Yes, Pastor Peralta?
No. Remember to involve the community in the decision-making process to ensure the project addresses their specific needs and concern. In addition to that, seek partnership with local organizations, businesses, government agencies to maximize resource and impact. That will be my recommendation.
Yvonne had something?
It's very similar to what Pastor Peralta was saying. Reach out to the people who are in need and just take 5 minutes, sit down and say, what are some of the things that you're struggling with? What can we help with? What are some of the things that you need from us as a church? And then work your way from there. If you're struggling to figure out what you can do, always ask. Never shy away from asking, what can we do? What do you need? And then work with your organizations, work with your churches, and don't feel overwhelmed when you think, oh, I have to do these big grand gestures. You can work with 1 or 2 blocks, or maybe a small village of your own small village, or even in your own backyard. There are many things that we can do that don't have to be big, but they can still make be impactful to the ministry.
Amen. And I think that is it from our team. But we want to remind you that we have an event, a program event coming up soon in November. We have our last effort for the year as part of our calendar in November. Pastor Paco, do you want to tell us a little bit about what's happening starting, I believe, the Sabbath, or is this the Sunday?
Yes, the Sabbath. Yeah, so we have something lined up for you. We want to increase the presence of Jesus on social media. We want to increase materials and resources that can disciple young people online. And this is for your young adults. So this is for public campus ministry students. This is for ambassadors, and of course, some senior pathfinders who can, tap into these resources and watch them from their gadgets. You don't need to go to church and have this program going. Other people decide to do that. That's fine. That's well and good for your local church. But we plan for it to be an online event where you can participate. On Wednesday, it's a prayer and fasting day for the young people. We got to pray. If Jesus needed to pray, how much more do feeble mortal souls like us need to be in constant communication with the heavenly agencies? So this is our chance to pray, to connect, to be spiritual, so that whatever we do, it has a base of knowing Jesus, loving Jesus, embracing him, and being influenced by his word. And the connections that we make with Jesus become so potent, so strong, that nothing can take us away from our Lord. Nothing can take us away from our faith. So let's stay connected, because Jesus also remained connected with the Father. So it's coming on. These are programs, these are videos that you will watch every day. We will also have excerpts from the Spirit of Prophecy that talk about prayer and the importance of prayer. Imagine if all of us prayed. Imagine if all of us connected with God in this great way. We would make a difference all around the world, because God has given us a beautiful, beautiful mandate to finish the work. We must finish the work, and we can only finish it if we are connected with Jesus. So Mwenya, you can play that video and we'll take it from there.
Well, we're going to say bye to everyone, and then we'll play the video and we'll head out. So
Bye-bye.
bye everyone, and we hope to see all your Global Youth Day updates. Feeling downcast, excluded, isolated, or forsaken? There is hope when we reflect on the love of God. This love, unbound by religious institutions, theological norms, or cultural mores, is available today. When we lose sight of God's love for mankind, life becomes concrete and complex, and we feel overwhelmed by personal shortcomings and various pressures of life. During this 2023 E-Week of Prayer, scheduled for November 11th through 17th, you will have the privilege and the liberty of immersing yourself into a biblical investigation of the love of God. I invite you to take this journey with us to see how God's love brought restoration and hope to those who needed it. Learn how it brought wholeness to those on the verge of giving up, and discover how Christ longs to share this love with us and everyone else. Please join us on the GC Youth Ministry social media platforms on November 11th through 17th as we take this journey into exploring God's love.